Well folks, it's a lovely morning, a couple of days after Storm Babet, which devastated this area. So I'm just out for a wee stroll this morning in the sunshine, just to check out how much damage has been done to various points in the river. I was actually down here yesterday with a different camera, and that was the first time since the storm it's been even possible to get down here, because this where I'm walking now, this whole area was underwater. You can see further up all the driftwood and stuff that's been dumped. So prior to this latest storm, there was a severe blockage that the previous flood had left up by the pipes that go into the water treatment works here. And they were severely restricting the passage of fish at probably the worst time of year possible, when the salmon and sea trout and indeed the brownies are running in the river to spawn further upstream. So I reported it, took photographs and reported it to the Fisheries Board and to SEPA, the Scottish Environmental Protection Agency. So they did an investigation, and apparently Scottish Water, who owns all this infrastructure here, have been instructed to clear the blockage. But of course that was prior to Storm Babet. So Babet swept in and dumped a phenomenal amount of rain in this area. Brechin, which is just 8 miles up the road, people have been washed out of their houses. It's a heck of a state of affairs. But we'll have a wander up, check the area where the blockage was. I know that it was a lot worse yesterday, but the bulk of the blockage had been washed a bit further downstream, where I don't think it's going to cause as many problems. But we'll go and have a look anyhow. It's an absolutely tremendous day. God, we've been stuck in the house for 3 days. It just wasn't possible to go out. Pretty severe weather. Just a freak conditions when a big rain-bearing front comes in. There was a big blocking high pressure over Scandinavia, which meant that the front just completely ground to a halt. And instead of getting half a day's rain, we got 3 days rain. But these things happen. Goodness me, terrain's hard going, it's so boggy. So the water's receded a lot since yesterday. This area here, I had to wade through it yesterday to get to the river. It was a wee bit dodgy. I didn't have waders on as wellies. I wasn't expecting it to be as bad as it was. And there was huge areas, you just couldn't get any further upstream than this pipe here. See, it's still a bit squidgy underfoot. There's my pet buzzards out enjoying the sunshine. I think they're very pleased to see me. some farmer is going to be a bit hacked off. It's this entire area here is strewn with potatoes, some crackers as well. Heaven knows where they've come from, but there are tons of them. I think once the cows get back into this field, they're going to have a bit of a bean feast. So there's the wee placid river that you can normally cross with wellies. And there's all the debris that the storms dumped. This really is quite remarkable. Get a bit closer and try to describe what's happened here. Yeah, it's certainly, it's open up. Last week, all this blockage was underneath the pipe. And these concrete slabs or posts or whatever they are, concrete sleepers, formed a walkway underneath the pipe there, so that an inspector could walk out of it and check the integrity of the pipe joints. Of course, this just gives you an illustration of how big the flood was. Can you imagine the force it must have taken to move these multi-ton concrete slabs from under there down to here? It's just mind-blowing. The river has certainly opened up. At the very least, passage for salmon, sea trout and brownies should be open now. They should be able to get up, because that really was the worst possible time of year to have a blockage in the river. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a bit croaky this morning. Oh my God. I don't know if I'm going to get very further than this. I'm certainly not going to wade in there with my wellies on anyhow. Let's see if we can get past here. Yesterday I was able to cross the fences. But my goodness me, the damage is considerable. Now, is this going to be too deep to wade? I think it is. Whoop, I'm not going to get through there anyhow. Might get through here though. Here's more potatoes under the water there. I'm glad I brought these walking poles. I mean, look at the amount of tatties here, my God. Should have brought a sack down with me. My goodness me. Not as agile as I once was. Right. I'll have to rename this the Tatty Pool. Oh, incidentally, I'm using a new camera to shoot this bit of video. I've given up the GoPros because I just found them too unreliable, overheating and crashing and heaven knows what. So I've upgraded to a DJI Osmo Action 4. That's what I'm using at the moment. And I've got an external microphone, a lavalier microphone attached to it, which should cut down on wind noise. Not that there's any wind today. And it's got nice features on it like horizon balancing and stuff like that. So hopefully there'll be no more 45-degree lochs. Just not so much barrel distortion as well. But I'm waffling. So this is one of my favourite pools. Those of you who follow the channel will probably recognise it. The river's still well up, but my goodness me, this entire area here was underwater for days. Yeah, I'm not going to... The San Martin colony is just round the corner there, but there's no way I'm going to get up there today. Not with wellies anyhow. We should have had waders on. I'm going to have a look at the blockage at the pipe from this side. I mean, it's hard to credit that such a placid wee burn, which in the summer is a trickle, you'll have seen that from some of my other videos, could turn into something like this. It's scary. So there we go. Yeah, it definitely looks like the fish will be able to get past there, no problem. It was completely blocked the other day, although the guy for the fisheries board came out and he reckoned that the fish probably could have gotten underneath the blockage, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, Babet has fixed that. So anyway, what is it about this latest trend to name every rain shower that crosses the country, like Storm Babet, Storm Frank? I'm going to start doing it myself. See this puddle here, we'll call it Dave. That's Puddle Dave. And this one across here is Puddle Jimmy. So yeah. We could call this one Puddle Maris Piper, I suppose. God, these are cracking tatties. Oh, this reminds me of the bad old days when we were kids and used to go to the tatty picking in October. 2 weeks slavery for a few bob. Aye, when we were young, things weren't so easy. The youngsters these days don't know they're living. Definitely. Puddle Jimmy here is causing me some problems. Right. So let's hope we don't get any more serious floods. Hope that's it for the winter. I think it's fair to say that most of the big Atlantic storms that we get tend to be in the autumn. The oceans and everything have warmed up and all the energy has been stored up during the summer, and then it's furiously unleashed. So it'll be interesting to come down here again on the 15th of March and do a bit of fishing and see how things have changed again. Right, we'll wander downstream. Yeah, so like I said, yesterday this was all underwater here, and I just managed to get through it with my wellies on. Having prior knowledge of the area was useful because it was muddy and you couldn't see where you're putting your feet, but I know this area is pretty flat. I mean, we went over it so many times. That's a rabbit. Obviously its burrows haven't been flooded out. And here we have Puddle Ron, that's short for Ronald. So hopefully there's been no lasting damage. It's Puddle Alec. So we'll head back to the car now, and I think that will probably do us. A nice wee morning's walk. I think there might be some disadvantages to using this lavalier mic. It's got a dead cat on it, one of these furry things, to cut the wind noise down, and it's got an analogue, a 3.5mm socket which connects the analogue signal from the microphone and adapts it to, sorry, I'm going to watch where I put my feet here. Yeah, it adapts it to USB-C, so that plugs into the side of the camera, which of course means the camera is no longer waterproof when you do that. But I'm not one for sticking my camera into the water anyhow. Aye, so I was saying, the advantage of using the furry lavalier mic is it should cut the wind noise pretty much out completely, hopefully. But then the downside is the microphone's quite close to my head where I've got it at the moment, and you're going to hear a lot of heavy breathing as I puff and pant my way up and down the river banks. So please don't misunderstand. It's just exhaustion, nothing more serious. A lot of puddles here. I think we'll call this big one down here Hamish, Puddle Hamish. So there's the famous Cannell Bridge, which I note has been hit by a truck again. About 2 or 3 times a year. It's partly demolished. These bridges were built back in the days of horses and carts, and were not meant, certainly weren't designed for the big trucks that the farmers have coming in and out these days. It's always getting hit. It must be costing a fortune just to maintain it. It's a real shame because it's a beautiful old stone bridge as it sits there majestically overlooking tropical storm Puddle Hamish. I guess by the time Hamish evaporates, the bridge will still be there if it hasn't been knocked down by an articulated lorry. It's quite amusing watching the cars approaching that bridge to see the damage on the bridge and the parapet of the bridge, and they slow right down, wondering if they're going to get across it without it collapsing. I don't know how old that bridge is, but it must be hundreds of years. Absolute crackers. Quite a few bridges have that design on this river between here and Lunan Bay. So anyway, I'm going to close the video at that, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully we will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye for now.